Just saying I sent the text by mistake is being dishonest, and that's ground for the general discharge. Is that correct?
No, the general discharge was given to her because she resigned under an investigation.
If she had not resigned, what would have taken place?
She would have been terminated.
And then what type of F5 would be generated?
Dishonorable.
And the basis for the dishonorable is that she was dishonest in saying that she sent the text by mistake?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as the text itself, it's graphic in nature, but that would not have been grounds for a discharge. Is that correct?
Well, once again, if I'm going back, if she would have been contrite, forgetful, or forgiveness and admitted instead of lying, then yeah, we wouldn't have terminated her.
I see.
What I want you to gather from this deposition excerpt in an F5 proceeding is two things. First, you have to be very precise when you, as the chief, the sheriff, or the constable, when you issue an F5, you have to be precise about why you issued the F5. In this situation, you cannot mix a offense under a dishonorable discharge with justification for an offense under general discharge. So had this chief terminated or forced an individual to resign because he felt that the individual was lying, was being dishonest, then he would have to put that F5 label as a dishonorable discharge. But in this case, the chief had put down a general discharge, in which case that means that an individual, an officer was terminated, retired, or resigned from the agency related to a disciplinary investigation of misconduct. Now, a misconduct is part of a SOP or policy that if you break this, you could be terminated. Here, what the chief said was that had the individual just apologized, he probably would not have terminated that individual. So it calls to question whether or not that individual actually violated a SOP or a policy. If it's so low level that a chief can just by his or her discretion decide if they're going to terminate someone, then maybe that is not a misconduct. And so I just want you to, the takeaway I want you to look at is that read the F5 very carefully, look at the label that they put down, and then overlay that with the context of your department, your agency's rules and procedures, and then have an understanding of what you were accused of doing or the investigation that was taking place. Does it fall under a dishonorable discharge or general discharge? And does it violate a particular department rules, policy, or SOP?